Hey guys, it's Tom Box. I'm here with a very special guest with us. We have, I guess, among the Canadian players, you're quite well known, Hanko Chow.
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome.
So you've achieved something that we all wanted to achieve today, which is win the
Yeah.
Remote Duel Invitational Qualifier. You won, and
I know.
how do you feel? How do you feel, man?
It's surprising, to be honest, because like obviously before we headed to the event, we looked at the list and there's Jessica and Ryan Yu, and I know a lot of the other players like Alec Wilkin and a lot of the Montreal players as well. And I'm like, this is really tough. And only top two gets the invite to the qualifier thing. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, Jesse and Ryan's there.
It's gonna be
Guess I'm
hard.
gonna try to get top four. so
And
so
like,
that's like the thing, right? And I also don't own Drytron cards, and I obviously probably the best deck to play for this format. So I was not confident at all going into this. I just played the anti-Drytron cards, which coincidentally are also good cards against like the other decks of the format, like Virtual Worlds and Eldlick, and well, not like the droplets and Dark Ruler are not really good, but like they're pretty vague. And even if they're bad, you can just use Roxy to get rid of it and draw another card.
so we kind of jumped ahead right here, but of course you
Oh,
played
sorry.
Prank Kids, and to go into like your record, you went undefeated in Swiss and you won the entire thing. That's
Yep.
that is insane.
It
That's
was-
basically an 8-0 record.
Yeah, it was definitely something that was not planned. I was, like I said, planning for top four, but
I mean,
it worked out. Like I'm so glad. Like
the Canadian division, like it was a pretty hard one, I would say. If you look at like a lot of the competing players, aside from having like a couple fun players like myself kind of showing about, there was also Distant Coder was also a part of it.
Yeah.
He was in top 8 as well.
yeah, he actually went almost undefeated in Swiss. He had a draw in the second last round, but then I got to play him in the last round of Swiss, and it was really surprising because he also did well in a recent tournament, and he was also like what was it like he made top 8 in another tournament. But I think did I play him? Did I play against him? No, I didn't play against him in that tournament, but he was doing really well, surprisingly. Like I don't understand how
Unchained.
how people struggle against Unchained, and I was like, what? Cards
Unchained
float.
is hard,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling you. Like if you play an Eldritch deck versus Unchained, you can almost do nothing. Everything negs. Everything that you try to do is
Yeah.
you pop a card, he brings out another card that's the exact same thing, and you're just negging all the way through. The only thing you can really do to wipe a board like that is you need to go into something that does not destroy and send to the graveyard.
Yeah, there's
Zeus, you gotta Zeus them. But getting to that point is not easy. They have a lot of disruption, and that's
very
actually,
generic ones too.
that's
Like when I played Dinosaurs back then, I don't think I've ever lost a game to Unchained, except unless they open Imperial Order or where I was late for the round and I got a game loss. That's the only time I lost to Unchained, and I was like, okay, UCT attack.
nice. But like, so what was your round to round? Like, what was like? There was
Oh,
about 5 rounds of
yeah.
Swiss and then 3 rounds of top 8.
I wrote this all down. So I played against round 1 was Dinosaurs, and like it's Prank Kids versus Dinosaurs. So he's got Miscellaneous and UCT, so it's really hard. Game 1 I was just like Mystic Mine, and he had 1 UCT out, so I had to like keep drawing cards until I can break a UCT or bait it out. And then flip, like once I bait it out, I like he either will pop a card in his hand or pop the UCT itself to try to break the Mystic Mind lock. So that's another scenario where you have to like predict into. But I played through it and it was good. Even though the guy was actually telling me how he himself doesn't like the Dino versus Prankin matchup, but he has Miscellaneousaurus and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. If you just summon UCT and like
Book
don't
everything?
use the flip thing.
Don't use the
Don't
flip.
book everything. And then you forced me to like, oh dang, he's gonna attack the kid that I need to make Battle Butler. So I either will have to take the face, like the damage in the face, or I have to like make Washer in main phase too, right? So usually I would have to make Butler, but then when I do that, I'm in main phase and he can just flip everything face down. Even if I try to attempt to pop it, if it's under Miscellaneous, then it's useless. So yeah, I can use Battle Butler in the battle phase, but I'm not. I don't think I should be getting to a battle phase. Anyways, I won that matchup surprisingly because of like Lancia and what else? I drolled him game 1, so that was really nice as well. And the
Oh,
and the
wow.
Mystic Mind. Yeah. So round 2 was against Infernoble, and I've got to say I got really lucky against this guy because I lost the dice roll, so he went first. He is actually playing the more optimal version of Infernoble.
What do you mean by that?
Because well, he's making the Calamities board. Let's say that because he's using the Halka Fibrax Despot Auroradon combo to make Herald and Calamities. And the good thing about that is that it's Calamities. You have to have droplets, and because Herald's up, it's really hard to have the right combination of cards to beat that. And not only that, but he was like, I think he was more focused on like, he had Phantom Knight cards, so that means that he wants to like normal summon Aqua Dolphin, pitch a Phantom Knight card, look at your hand, oops, goodbye Droll, goodbye Ash, and then he'll like search of a Warrior Extender with the Phantom Knight cards to go full combo. So like it was a really optimal version. I lost game 1. Game 2, I open an optimal hand I can play, normal summon, he gets disconnected unfortunately, and I was like, what's happening? And then he gets a game lost unfortunately. And then game 3, he does a really safe version of the combo ending on Appaloosa, Calamities, and Herald with no cards in hand because he had to use everything. And then I only had Dark Ruler no more, but then my rock, but because it's Calamities against Prank Kids, I can still use my graveyard effects depending on what he calls. So he only calls fire, and I was able to use water, then wind, and rock to like filter my grave. And I even got the Roxy draw. I banished another Dark Ruler no more and drew droplets, and I was like, oh. My hand was actually double Pandemonium, a Prank Kid, and 2 Dark Ruler no mores, and I was like, this is bad against Calamities. But then I drew droplets with it. I was like, oh, set 3, I have Bow Out and Fire, pass. And then he goes draw. He actually goes into main phase. So his misplay was that he didn't use Calamities during the standby phase, or else I couldn't. I would have to commit more cards to deal with it. But he goes into main phase, just tries to attack, so he's using the least amount of effort to do things. And I go, okay, Pandemonium. He goes Chain Herald. And then I go chain a second Pandemonium, chain Bow Wow. And then I summon Butler, but he still doesn't want to use VFD. But regardless, I actually had the droplets to send the spells I was activating to negate the Calamities, even if he tried to. And it was just enough. I had double Butler on the field because I had the Link 1 in a grave, and I was able to clear his field and whatever he was going to do with the top deck. So I miraculously won with such a weird hand. And then round 3, played against Evil Twin Eldlick, and that's a control deck. Won game 1, and then as I went first, and I was just Butler combo, and the Butler deals with the Evil Twin cards. So all I had to do was out-resource the Eldlick cards by doing prank kid stuff. In game 2, I made a misplay, and I forgot that I chain blocked with Rocket Ride, so that would lower the attack, and I couldn't beat over both his twins. So I was like, darn it, I messed up. I let him have a twin on the field, and then that just got out of my control. Game 3, I did the Butler combo, and it was just, I had double Raigeki against his 1-card engine combo, and he had Eldlick cards, and I just plussing the Prank cards. Yeah, like you're like it's, whether watch your Bow Wow, like the looping between them is just insane. You have to have like specifically torrential needle sealing to like try to catch up. Anyways, and then after that round 4, I played against Virtual Worlds.
Just summarize this one. We kind of know how these usually go.
I believe I just won game 1, lost game 2 to doubles Calamities, and game 3 my deck's really consistent. I just draw Prank Kid and I double Butler. Round 5 was against Distant Coder. It was really quick.
Unchained.
I evenly matched him when I went second. And in game,
that's not a destruction-based card.
It's not. It's really strong. And then I just kept summoning a Prank Kid every single turn, but he's top decking a single trap to stop my play. But obviously, I play the 3 meows for that reason, because he'll stop the first one, stop the second one. Do you have an out for the third one? No, I'm playing the game. And then I out-resource him with pranks and a washer.
Oh, nice.
Game 2 was kind of the same thing. I dustered an even lead and kaiju'd him, and play the game.
Okay. And how did top cut go?
Oh, top cut. Top 8. So I was first place after Swiss. I had to play against 8th place, which was coincidentally the guy that I beat, the Infernoble guy. and I was scared because like I was really lucky against him, right? Like got the game loss, and I got really good hand game 3. So I was like, I don't think I can make it, but
you beat him again. That is not
Yeah,
luck. When you can do it multiple times, it's no longer luck; it's consistency.
So I think this guy has normal summoned Aqua Dolphin every single game against me, because that's what happened. He normal summons Aqua Dolphin, pitches Divine Force Sword, Phoenix Blade, and then looks at my hand. I had Dark Relay No More, Mystic Mine, Evenly Matched, Droplets, and a Prankit green. And then he pops the green, and he looks at my hand, he's like, set 1 pass. I don't think I'm gonna combo through this. I'm like, okay. So I draw Mystic Mine, and then we play a couple turns. I eventually was able to draw 2 prank kids and a fusion spell. So because of that combination, I was able to summon, run into a disruption. He had Call by the Grave, and then I was able to Pandemonium to make a Doodle Bird, which will then get me back like some more resources and keep Mystic Mine on the field. And I eventually just won out. Game 2, he does he special summons Red Layer, and then I Lanceia'd him. And then summons Firefly. And I believe this was the time he didn't use his normal summon until... Because I Lanceia'd him, it turns off his Fusion Trishula Contact Fusion. It also turns off Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, which is also the DDR fodder thing. So the Power Tool has to get him a Durandal for an extender. And it also, well, coincidentally though, this guy also plays Armageddonite and Plague Spreader, so I gave him infinite Plague Spreaders. So he was pretty happy about that, I guess. His ending board was Arclight, Charles, and Savage with Aurora on the field. And my turn, I go Prank Field Spell, summon, adding a card, a normal summon. He goes Roland to equip to Charles, and pop. Charles try to pop, and I go Droplets, pitching the 2 on the field to negate the Herald and the Savage. Then I play Mystic Mine, and then I eventually just broke the, no, I didn't break the board. I killed the Arclight eventually, and then I did break the board. I summoned Butler on my own turn, and then I broke everything, and I couldn't set up a second Butler, but I was able to think that like I could stall it out the next turn, but I won in time. So I was like, okay, nice. It was like the Mystic Mind game, crazy. Then in top 4, I play against Senna Category, Virtual World player. I played against him a bunch of times. He's a pretty consistent regional topper, and yeah, it was like I won a dice roll, thank goodness. So I was able to summon double Butler combo, and that combo devastates Virtual Worlds. But luckily for him, I believe in game 2, he actually had he hard drew the Kinglong spell, the continuous spell that negates monster effects. So once he baited me out to get out Butler on the field, and I used a banishing Meow as a cost instead, then he goes spell, banish to negate Butler. So then I'm like, darn it, he had it. So he was able to make a second push with Lao Lao and stuff, and then was able to get a Shen Shen to pop my Butler, not make it float, and then won. For game 3, I was able to just double Butler combo. He didn't have the outs, and then I won. In the finals, I played against Rahan Zahid. It's a very consistent player. He's been playing a lot of remote duels lately, and he played Drytrons, crazy enough. Last time I played against him, he was playing like Dogmatica Eldlik, so I was like thinking he's more into like trap-based decks, but dang it, he's playing Drytron, so I was like, dang, I dodged this matchup the whole time, and then now I get to play against it, so...
But your deck looks pretty tuned for dealing with Drytron.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at the main deck, and it's pretty self-evident right here.
Yeah, so game 1, I get to go first because I won a dice roll. I make double Butler. Yeah, so the combo would get you like a Butler setup. So you would have Pandemonium and the 3 pieces either in the field or hand. Okay. And then you would have Meow in the grave. So on your opponent's turn, you would Pandemonium to summon it.
That makes sense.
And you have 2 times effects. Yeah.
That makes sense. Just to clear it up for all the people watching out there. They're probably gonna be questioning it.
Oh, if they are, they should be reading my
articles.
TCGPlayer article. Actually, yeah, I literally wrote about my deck the night or the days before it, and I was like, yeah, I have to post this like now, or else I'm out of my quotas or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. I don't think I'll do well anyway, so I'll post it. And then nobody really read it, I guess, because like nobody knew my list.
Hey guys, he's like revealing how to beat him the night before, and no one bothered reading his. It's like someone like Jesse Cotton told you like these are the weaknesses to my deck, but no one decided to read it. Free knowledge. It's free real estate.
Free real estate.
It's like free info, and like info is key when it comes to like winning these games. All right.
Yeah. So the list I presented though on that article was actually a 60 card list, and like a 50 card list, and I the night before I took out like 6 of them to make the deck more consistent. But anyways, I played against Rahan, and I won game. I won game 1 because I double butlered, and I think I had Droll. No, I didn't have Droll. I Mystic Mind him.
Oh,
But
that's
he was willing to
rough.
play it out. He was willing to play it out, and then I was like, okay, go into Doodle, search pranks, activate it, and then I'm eventually going to win. I don't know if you main deck Duster or not, but eventually I'll win. And then he just scoops and goes to game 2. Game 2, he surprisingly, his hand was like Fafnir, add Nova, activate Nova, get an Alpha, pass, and I was like, huh?
What is
Gets
that?
destroyed. Like, yeah. I was like, what happened?
He got
And then
invisible
I-
hand trap. That's what happened. The invisible
Yeah.
hand traps got him. He got hit
So-
by a no material right there.
Yeah, I was so surprised. But I guess it makes sense when in the next couple turns that he plays, because he plays a second Fafnir in the next turn to get another Nova to get Zeta, or not Zeta, he gets a Beta, and he just because I Mystic Mind him, but he had Duster, he just didn't have access to Benten until he resolved his Alpha. So I guess that my misplay there was thinking that his hand was better, and I just didn't destroy the Zeta that he summoned with the Nova. But anyways, he was able to play a bit on the following turns, but I was able to set up double Butler, and he had to play through that with Herald of Orange Light, which he got me there. He adds Meteonus, and I was like, okay, I have to set up Butler, and he goes activate the Meteonus, and I know that he has Natasha in his hand because he added it with Benten, and I was like, this is the right play. Activate Butler, negate, and he goes Herald of Orange Light, Psych, discard the Natasha. And I'm like, oh no. And he had to bait it out with like Manju and like 2 other monsters to try and look like he's making Phoenix or Unicorn. So that was another thing. So I was able to win that game because he chose to. Because I made sure I left my Butler off the field so you couldn't Natasha steal that, and he just chose to not commit more cards with the Natasha play because he only had 1 Benton in the grave. So he just sat on Herald, Mirage Lights, and then I draw. I'd go, okay, Kaiju, play the game.
in
Totally awesome Dweller. Yeah, because he left me with all the kids on the field. He didn't use the Natasha to steal them or anything.
Okay.
So I just like got Dweller totally awesome, and I just won the last round.
All right, before we get into your deck list rundown with you, just any shoutouts you want to give right now?
Oh yeah, of course. Shout out to all my friends that support me, like my friend Kote that he playtested with me on DB the night before and the nights before. Shout outs to my editor Jason and my friend Zach, like he also writes TCGPlayer articles. Anyone else that supports me, really.
Don't worry, guys.
That's really
check.
it.
I will be posting the link to the article in the description, guys. Check it out. It's free real estate, guys. But okay, so let's run down the deck right now. So starting off, you have your triple Prank Kids Place with a terraforming. All right, essentially your searchers.
Tanky.
Yeah, it's basically your Tanky, your 4 copies of Tanky right here. You have triple Roxy's, basically triple of every single attribute available.
Yep.
We're just waiting.
They're all resources.
If only there was a dark and a light one.
Yeah, actually, this would be really cool. It'd probably be like high levels or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they are ramping up in levels as well. So yeah, they would be level, probably 5 and 6 if they did exist. And did you win in time using these cheesy effects of dropsies and lampsies? I mean, that's always something I always ask.
I did win in time because of life points. Let's say that.
I shall neither confirm nor deny these baseless allegations.
Yes. Yeah. Like, virtual world players, they shuffle their deck constantly for some reason, and I'm like, okay. So the time just happens,
So you gotta stick with the game plan. Okay.
Yes.
So triple of all of these. All right. So triple of everything. It's a triple pandemonium.
Yep.
Is this the right number according to you?
I was playing polymerization, but
Yes.
like this card is not only a resource because it's a name that you can search and send off of the green, but it's a quick play. So quick play in this kind of deck is really strong because you normal summon your Prank Kid, and there's cards like Zodiac Dryden and like the trap, the virtual world trap, Chuche, and dogmatic punishment. These cards all like target and they're trying to kill your normal summon. So you bait that out, and then you chain the Pandemonium to summon Rocket Ride, so that way you can still get the effects off and dodge that kind of card. So it's really, I was like going to cut this to 2, but I was like, no, this has to be 3. Has to be.
Okay.
Like Poly and Pandemonium were like the bricky cards, but this one had to be 3, I think.
Okay. One Prank Kids Pranks. This is the one that generates the token and also functions as a Daigusto Emerald. I think that is what makes the deck so cyclable. It's good at the grind game because you can always put your stuff back and you always get stuff back.
Yes.
So here's
And
something.
even if it's gone, like even if it's gone, you still have your Link monsters to try and put stuff back. It'll be a slower process, but like that one definitely is a really helpful card.
So here's the card that I
Because like the Link monsters.
2 Parallaxes. Like, why
Yes.
just 2 in this context?
It was 3. It was 3.
This is such a strange number. Like, to be honest, let's
3
be
was
fair
better.
here. Like, what if you draw into one of them?
Yeah, because if you draw into one of them, then that's perfect. But if you draw into both,
2 of them,
then you can't summon the other. Yes, that's the Ripperoni. If you draw into both, it's the Ripperoni. But like, see, the thing is that you only really will draw into one. That's just my opinion. And then you use one to summon the other. It's just that simple. I was running it as a 3, but like, because like this card helps you chain block, but at the cost or at the risk of committing more cards to Nibiru. But even if you Nibiru, it's like 2,000, right? I mean, it's 1,000 on the field, but once you Nibiru, I think you get a token that's like really big. Because
yes, you do. It does take the original step. That did come up today when I had to ask my opponent, how big is my Nibiru token anyway? Because I got hit on an access code talker, so I had to ask that question quite thoroughly because it was a big access code. Okay, so
but yeah, having this card is really important as not only a chain blocker, but also to make Abyss Dweller or Link Climb into access code to kill people. So yeah, it's a very important card.
Okay, so here's the 3 1-ofs. Extender. Instant Fusion brings out what? This is one of your Rocket Ride. So this is one of your most broken cards.
Yes, broken because it's like soul charge essentially. You instant for Rocket, and it's either gonna be like a prank kids on the name, so that way you can like link with another monster to make Doodlebird, or in the best case scenario, you have like multiple names in your grave, and you use the Rocket Ride to revive those and keep playing cards. Yeah, like Rocket to revive back Doodle, and then Doodle gets you more cards, and you're just like, wow, look at all these cards I have in my hand.
Okay, no, it makes sense. Okay, then we have Called by the Grave. I think you and I are both on the same page on this one. Yeah. I was like, why would you not run this? If I have a weakness that is one of your hand traps, why would I not run the card that I can use to get rid of your hand trap?
Yeah, like I normal summon a card, I make Link my Meow, and then I use Effect. And if I don't have the chain blocking cards, like
you're gonna get hit by an Ash.
Like, yeah, Ash, Meister, Gamma, everything. It's just like
the whole 9 yards.
And then, like, when I use my Doodlebird second effect to retrieve back the cards, I can lose to a Ghost Spell, and then I need something, right? That card's just broken.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good, but it's also, like, was really good against this deck when it was at 3, because, like, you would hit the Rocket Ride, hit the Washer, and whatnot.
And, like, again, this card's also good as a set, too. Like, once you build your board, and nothing happened, you might as well just set the card now, because you can turn off a problem card forever. 2 turns this forever.
Disruption.
Yeah, it's legit disruption. Like, I'm playing Drytron, and just to kind of validate, like, a lot of people don't want to run it because it's a 1-up. I don't really get that notion. Like, yes, it's sacky, but it's never bad to have it. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna lose the Droll,
it's won me so many games.
I'm just gonna call by the Graveyard Droll, and I don't need to deal with any of your Gammas or anything because they don't work. Yeah, so that's why this is good. Don't, like, even if it pushes your deck to 41, if you have a hand trap that stings and just skips your turn, this is a considerable option. So now, looking into your hand trap line and it's not just a hand trap line. This is a counter line and a disruption line all in one. So you've got triple Droll in the main.
Anti-meta.
This is anti-meta heavily. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cards dedicated to countering the meta. That is insane.
Yes.
For a 44 card deck,
technically like a... Yep, because I'm trying to only open up like 1 or 2 prank kids. I'm not trying to open up 3 prank kids, so that's why I had to like increase the non-prank kid cards.
So this is a one
Like,
card
it's-
combo deck, right?
Yes, I try to do that, but I mean, it is easily stopped, and that's why the 2-card combos kind of exist. They're like, or even the 3-card combos, because like the fusion spell obviously takes it and 2 more cards, right? So like that's not really optimal, but like that's why I had to cut the polymerization, because it was just super bricky, and I had to just
Okay.
and the parallel exceeds are like nice because it's another 2-card combo, but it doesn't really make anything but Dweller turn 1, which it's needed, but like
It's still good in consideration of what's played in the format. I mean, if you Dweller a dinosaur player, that hurts a lot.
Yeah.
You
game
Dweller
over.
a
Drytron
Drytron player, what are they playing with? It basically means that they don't exist. You hit them.
Yeah, they're just playing with their hand.
I don't think you really hit Virtual World personally. Or maybe
It-
the
yeah, I mean, it does.
Chuche. Yeah, or the Qinglong. The
It hits
Qinglong as well.
Qinglong, Chuche, and Yan. Those 3
It does.
goes, yeah.
It's not like the huge list, but it's still impactful. You know what?
Yes.
I like the rundown of your list, because right now VFD, and I would say, I guess it's just mainly VFD Dragoon.
Vanity's Ruler.
Yeah, VFD,
And
Vanity's
Vanity's
Ruler.
Ruler.
Yeah, all the things that don't let people play, like the
Yeah.
five
Binda.
key cards, and like in Herald of Ultimateness, those
Yes,
cards
yes.
they need answers.
All
to.
is
Like, they are the problems of the format. They're clearly the problems of the format, right? And you seem to have
And I want
tuned
to
your
play
deck to kill every option available.
well, try to play the game is what I'd say. Like it's a 1-card combo, but like the 1-card combo doesn't break boards. It just helps me play the game. I realize that a lot, where I just like, yeah, 1-card combo, make Doodle Bird.
Okay.
I have a 2000 attack monster. Beat over this one, and then I'll just set up Battle Butler on your turn. So it's like it is a 1-card combo deck, but it doesn't break boards. That's the sad part. It just, all these cards though, they help me play the game, and then eventually maybe I can break their board with the Battle Butler or Mystic Mine. Yeah.
Okay. So triple Droll, anti-Drytron,
Virtual World.
virtual.
Dinos,
How bad does it hit
Deer
Virtual
Serpent.
World?
If they Kinglong for Lulu and then I draw them there, their Lulu becomes less valuable.
Oh well, there's no value at all if you ask me. Yeah, if you do that.
Yeah, I mean it's still a body to summon. And then
it also
Trolls
stops
for-
Chowfeng as well. Chowfeng can't add the card to hand.
True, that combo. And then there's also like Nadir Servant. They Nadir Servant for Ecclesia, and they dump like Ash Dragon. Well, you draw them, and then
Goodbye to both of them.
yeah, those 2 cards are less value. What else
Okay.
is
You know
that?
what? Droll makes sense. Ash is just
Yeah.
Ash. I don't think Ash needs an explanation. Evenly Match is the only one that seems a little bit odd to me. It hasn't been played very often lately.
It's because why? You know what? I actually don't know why people don't play evenly. I think it's because they don't respect the trap decks that well. I mean, if I had Lightning Storms, I would have played it. They both, like Lightning Storm and Evenly Matched, they're both kind of like in the same kind of category where they're board wipes, but only if you don't have cards on the field, right? So you would think like, wow, why are you playing Evenly Matched with field spells and like all these other cards, right? Because you're committing so many cards to the field. But see, when I do draw Evenly Matched, I try to not actually play the field spell unless I have to. Especially when I draw it in my opening hand, I'd be like, okay, normal summon, make Link. Oh, they hit me with a hand trap. Guess I'm sitting here from Evenly Matched. They're gonna kill my Link monster, and then I have a live Evenly Matched after they end their battle phase or whatever.
Okay.
So like that's part of the plan because I commit less cards onto the field, right?
Okay. And I guess, like for me, looking at this, Dark Ruler No More is pretty obvious. Turn off the bosses, and not VFD, just all the other bosses except for VFD. Droplets.
I mean, if they respect Gamma, they will lose to Dark Ruler, and I hope they do respect Gamma.
the one hand trap you don't run. Okay, droplets is of course another one to turn off some of the problems in the format. Then we have set roll.
Targetable negation.
So you do run.
Yes, it's the 4th.
This is your 4th Mystic Mine or your 4th Pranket's Place, which is pretty interesting.
But I don't want to give my opponent a Mystic Mine most of the time, so I only really use it as a Mystic Mine card.
True.
In my 50 card list, I was playing the Fusion Recycling Plant, so I could give them that for the prank. So it was okay, but like, it's more so just the Mystic Mine card. It's not really.
So it's Mystic Mine. And speaking of Mystic Mine, like I don't. A lot of people have cut Mystic Mine out entirely. You've just decided to like max out where everyone dropped off. You hung on. Like,
Okay,
what's your
so
take on
it's
the
not
what's your
good
take on this
against
card?
You would think that it's not good versus Virtual World, but even when I'm like post side going second against them, as long as I draw like Cosmic or a way to bait out the trap, you're actually able to establish Mystic Mine against them because they're going to pop with the trap. Then they only have like one banished Virtual World name, and then you go, okay, Mystic Mine. And unless they somehow get the trap or the spell in the grave, which will be a couple turns, then you bought yourself a couple turns. It's nice. But yeah, Mystic Mine's really good against Vanity Ruler if they commit to that, and since they don't play Herald of Greenlight, which they should, then they lose to the Mystic Mine.
Herald of Greenlight?
Yeah, they should be playing that. I don't know why.
It's because it doesn't work against Dark Ruler or Droplets.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it doesn't work against everything that we want to negate.
So then the Mystic Mine is also just like a niche trade against Herald of Ultimateness, even though you don't want to trade against that card. But against everything else, like Rogue, it's pretty solid. The deck has a recycling function, so it has a built-in win condition with Mystic Mine. So I mean, yeah, pretty good card.
Okay, well then. Well, thanks to this video, guys. I'm sorry, your locals, your events coming up, they're going to be full of Mystic Mine. I'm sorry, guys. Mystic Mine, it works.
It works when it works.
Sponsored by Hanko Chow.
No.
Okay, so we have your extra deck. Triple Meow Meow, triple Doodle Doo, one Bow Wow Bark, one of the Weather Washer. We have one of the Rocket Ride, one Battle Butler for the double Battle Butler combo. We have one access code, basically the standard package here for the rest of the prank kit stuff. Nothing too exciting here. You do have a Lightning Storm. What are you talking about?
I have one Lightning Storm. Chill.
Okay,
I'm not rich.
so triple Lancia. This is to deal with a lot of the banish-based matchups. We have Kaiju. Kaijus are good because it deals with it's a non-interactive removal.
It was the last minute switch actually. My previous list was playing Nibiru, but then I realized that if Drytron players were leaning more towards normal summoning Manju instead of summoning Vanity Ruler, then they're gonna sit on Herald of Ultimateness with Eva in their hand, which is good, but then it loses to a Kaiju. And Kaijus are very generically good against a lot of other matchups like Dragoon decks or dinosaurs. So I thought it was a good pick. It's also Aqua, Water for Totally Awesome, whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
You can easily beat over it if you played the field spell and you link summon and you use the field spell to lower its attack by 500, so you can doodle attack over it.
Okay, that makes sense. We have triple Cosmic Cyclone, one red reboot to skip the turn traps player. Or
win.
Just win.
To win.
It's the red win button. Duster, Lightning Storm, kind of functioning at the same thing. Maybe you'll use it to get rid of a Vanity's Ruler if they just sit on that only.
I decided against that. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, guys. I've even tried Dark Hole. It's very fun.
And they don't play Herald of Greenlight, so it's like what?
And then there is triple Solemn Judgment, which is to protect your stuff or just even get
it's just the turn one card. Like the weakness to prank kids is once they're set up, the Pandemonium loses to quick play removal like Cosmic and Twin on the standby phase.
Yep.
So cards like Solemn Judgment are just really good to complement that. And because it's a Mystic Mine deck, Solemn Judgment, Mystic Mine, nice game. Clap, clap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, originally we were actually going to go do a little bit of a combo demo about the one card combo, but you know what? Because Hanko actually wrote it all out, and I think it's good exercise for everyone to actually read the combo. What is your combo about, and how can they get access to it?
So the prank kids all can do a one-card combo, set up Meow in the Grave, the Pandemonium in your hand, and the three names, green, blue, Fansies, Lamsies, and Dropsies to your hand or field. But if you're doing the one-card combo version, then you will use up 5 summons, which will lose to Nibiru. So you don't want to lose to Nibiru, then you have to open up an additional name, specifically one of the three fire, water, or wind. So that way you already have one in your hand. The Doodle will add the fusion spell, and then add 2 more of the other names to your hand. And even if you open with rock, the rock will summon out the green, and then the green will send the other names that you'll add back with Doodle. So it all works out, and I wrote it all in detail in the article.
So check it out. Link in the description. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on to MST.TV, sharing your profile, sharing your outlook on prank kids. Do you think prank kids are meta after what you've done today, or do you think this was the rogue win, man? This is the rogue deck winning. Although okay, prank kids is not completely rogue, still a tier, among the tier 2, tier 1 decks.
1.5. Yeah. It has a 1-card combo. 1-card combos are good. So I think that makes them pretty viable. It's also because, like I said, I kind of got lucky, because if you're playing the prank kids in a format where everyone's main decking Nibiru and Ash and Meister, it'll have a harder time. And luckily, not that many people were main decking Nibiru, so I had an easier time. Let's just say that.
Okay. No, that makes total sense. And well, thank you so much, Hanko. Of course, link in the description if you want that combo.
I will be writing up my my post-tournament report article very soon, and
it's probably already up by the time this video comes in.
Yes, exactly. So hopefully you guys will check that out, and I'm sure people that are watching, some of you guys might be already coming from the article that I wrote, because I'll post a link to this video there. When it comes out, I don't know how it'll come out, but
don't worry, we'll worry about that in post.
And yeah, prank kids are fun. They're pretty good.
All right, thank you guys so much. If you guys enjoyed this video, well, smash that thumbs up button. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, I'm not sure if I can get more tournament features, but we'll see. I'm gonna be working on a couple of decks these days. I'm kind of skewing more towards the rogue end side. We kind of know this meta pretty in and out. It's still evolving, but it's more or less kind of settled into where it is at right now. So kind of want to explore rogue, because I think rogue actually has some of the most legitimate chances to actually play in the format. So stick around. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.